Hello out there, everybody. Manny here at Area 503. And I hope you all have been well since our last video. In today's episode, I want to cover some recent UFO footage that I found with you guys. Some of the stuff is just dang crazy, and I want you to take a look at it. This first clip I actually showed on a live stream over at Gufon Radio. I was hanging out with Rich over there, and we took a look at the clip and talked about it a little bit.
This should work.
Yeah, there it is. Boom.
Guys, watch this right around here.
I'll put a link to the Gufon Radio stream channel down below, so when you guys get done here, head on over and check it out. Rich is a pretty funny guy, and he talks about a variety of subjects like UFOs, aliens, and paranormal subjects.
This is amazing!
The sighting was captured on a Ring doorbell camera on February 26, 2020, over Lexington, South Carolina. Something triggered the doorbell camera and caused it to start recording. Watch down here by the mailbox, and something's gonna fly upwards. What the heck is that? It's got some cool tracers behind it, but I don't see any kind of definitive shape like a craft of any sort. Maybe it's an insect like a moth that is flying upwards and reflecting the light. It's really hard to tell. There's some other anomalies in this video as well. Maybe taking a look at those will help us figure out what this is. One of the things that my buddy Rich pointed out was that there's a reflection of something on the car here right before this UFO takes off. Is that possibly light from the porch reflecting off the UFO? Or is it light from an object that's passing by overhead reflecting off the car? It could be either one or neither. And then take a look at this section of sky here after the UFO disappears. You see some weird angular movement with two 90-degree turns that seems to follow the UFO. Seriously? What the hell is that? And there's even one more anomaly. Take a look at this zoomed up version on the mailbox when this UAP first takes off. Not only does the UAP move in front of the mailbox, obscuring it, but the tracer effects of the UAP also seem to have an almost cloaking-like ability on the mailbox. I mean, if you look at the pixels behind the mailbox, don't those look identical to the pixels that are in front of the mailbox? In Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, they set up a screen and a projector that grabs an image from in front of the projector and projects it on a screen, creating a stealthing effect. Is this some kind of stealth technology on a small drone? I don't know, I'm only speculating here, but it is possible. I mean, it's also possible that it's just an artifact of a low light condition and a bright glare, so it could be an optical effect in the digital recording. What do you guys think it is? Check out this clip of a UAP that I found that is slightly similar. It was filmed on February 2nd, 2020, and it shows a UAP flying in front of the moon. This particular UAP looks similar, however the object is moving significantly faster than the one we saw in Lexington. I really don't think this is the same UFO in both of these pieces of footage, but it was similar enough that I wanted to show it to you guys and see what you think about it as well. So I guess I'm really at a loss to explain all of these different anomalies. I just don't know what this UAP is. I mean, I really don't like any of the earthly explanations for this. They seem so far-fetched. That does leave the possibility of some sort of paranormal or alien activity. For now, I'm going to go ahead and leave this sighting in my UAP files, and we will go ahead and move along to the next sighting, which took place over Scotland Neck, North Carolina on February 20th, 2020. 2020. Check out this crazy footage.
Look at that.
What is it?
Look at that.
What is it?
I don't know. It's a UFO. There ain't no doubt about it. We got it on camera.
Well, you got something on camera. I'm not convinced it's a UFO, however.
Look at that. I hope it's not a meteor.
Holy crap.
No, it wouldn't be bright like
It's-
that.
How do you know?
Well, they did have there was a meteor that was supposed to be 1 million miles away. Is that
I thought 6 million
or
miles
6
away.
million away?
I wonder if that's it. All I know is it ain't no nothing that's of this earth.
I don't know. The more that I look at this, the more that I suspect that it is of this earth.
Where'd it go?
Let's take a better look at this sighting, and I'll point a few things out to you. The very first thing that I noticed was this unusually clear and crisp detail of the UFO. It's extremely uncommon when filming a UFO to get such precise detail, so this immediately raised a red flag for me, even if I didn't know what it meant. And here's another thing that made me suspicious. I was wondering how the witness was able to get the UFO centered so directly and keep it steady when it appeared that they were filming this by hand without the use of a tripod. I mean, normally when somebody zooms in on one of these objects, they're bouncing all around the screen, but this thing just sits there. And that really makes me question whether it's a stationary object. Another thing that I noticed, which I'm sure you all did too, were these lines that seem to move across the UFO. At first, these really kind of baffled me and I wasn't sure what to make of them. I thought that they kind of resembled scan lines from an old television or CRT monitor. But then I took a clip of the sighting and I sped it up and looped it in reverse. Check this out. When you look at it like this, it looks like the diamond shape in the middle might be the stuck aperture of the camera shutter. And these lines that we're seeing that appear to move over the UFO are actually just the reflection of some sort of object like power lines or something that's being illuminated, and it's reflecting off the plastic cover screen that's on the front of the camera. I'll try to make a short animation to illustrate what I mean. And by short animation, I mean it'll probably take me 2 days to make this thing, so I hope you guys enjoy it. So here we got a picture of a street light. We'll add in some random power lines and overlay a stuck shutter. Then we're going to zoom in on the power lines and blur it out to emulate the stuck focus of the camera, and then just gently move the camera back and forth over this stationary object. What does that remind you of? I really gotta tell you, I think that's what it was. Probably a street lamp and some power lines. What do you guys think it was? Tell me in the comments below. For now, let's go ahead and move on to our next sighting, which took place over Morehead City, North Carolina on February 16th, 2020. That's right, it looks like the Carolinas were a good place to be for spotted UFOs this February. Take a look at this crazy sighting. The witnesses had this to say.
The whole thing's on fire. I know.
Yeah, you guys are right. It does look like that thing, whatever it is on fire. I can definitely see why this stood out and drew their attention. You know, if this thing was moving around quickly from side to side or in one direction even, I might suspect this is a UFO. But with it just hovering there and being stationary, I can't help but wonder if this is Mars, and it's reflecting a lot of light, which is why it gets that shimmering effect. It's really hard to tell because we have no point of reference. So in this case, I can't really be sure, but I'm leaning towards it being Mars. But that reminds me of something. On both Apple iOS and Android, if you go to the marketplace and search for augmented reality astronomy, you'll see some apps, and a lot of them are going to be free. Applications such as these can help you identify stars and planets when you're out looking for UFOs. Another good app is the free version of the Flight Radar 24, which can help you identify commercial aircraft that are in your area in real time. And just as a disclaimer, I am not affiliated with or paid by any of these companies. I just think they're good free apps to use to help you rule out some stuff when you're out looking for UFOs. And we will go ahead and move along to the next sighting, which took place over London, Ontario, Canada, on February 3rd, 2020. A witness filmed this shaky footage of a large, dark UFO that was moving slowly across the sky. It's pretty hard to get a good look at this thing because the camera's moving so much and it's bouncing in and out of frame, but I did try to get a few good zooms on it. And I literally had to go through this footage frame by frame. And I'm glad I did, because I saw something there that I might have missed otherwise. Take a look at this still frame right here. This backwards shaped wing design automatically made me think of the B-2 Spirit or the stealth bomber. This is a giant aircraft, and when it's in the air, it feels like something large and heavy is floating above you. Now, I can't say for sure that this sighting was one of these B-2 stealth bombers. I mean, it is possible they are still in operation and will be for a number of years yet, but that explanation does sync with all of the evidence of a large, dark object that was moving slowly and has this sort of backward wing design. So if I had to guess, I'd say that's what it was. But I truly only have one frame of evidence to support that theory, so I can't stand behind it too much. Of course, the B-2 Spirit isn't the only blended wing body aircraft in the skies today. The X-47B prototype has been in flight since 2011. This aircraft is part of the Navy's UCAS-D program, or Unmanned Combat Air System Demonstration. You got it, folks. This thing is completely unmanned, making it probably one of the world's largest drones. And it's equipped with weapon systems. I bet you Skynet loves that. As I discovered, the blended wing body aircraft has been around for quite some time. The very first prototypes of this style of aircraft were flown back in the 1920s. It wasn't until the 1940s, however, when the Horton brothers were commissioned to work on one of these planes for the German Army. This was the first time that jet turbines were attached to this type of aircraft. At some point, the United States Army was able to capture one of these prototypes, presumably after the war and possibly during Operation Paperclip. The prototype was sent to Wright-Patterson Field in Dayton, Ohio. There's a name we've heard a lot of lately. However, it seems that whatever sort of experimentation that they did on the aircraft failed, because it wasn't until the 90s that this sort of technology would again surface in the United States military arsenal. But I have to say, I find it extremely curious that the look and shape of some of the latest cutting-edge aircraft saw the true invention of their design in the 1940s in Germany, kind of like NASA's Apollo program and the Titan rockets. Interesting. Well guys, for now, that's all I have on UFO and UAP sightings. I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts on what these things are. So make sure you tell me what you think in the comments section below, and if you haven't gotten a chance to already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and join us in our search for universal truth. Come on, you know you want to. As always, this has been Manny at Area 503, and I wish you all the best until we meet again. And I am out of here to continue my search for universal truth.